There's a moment in every tennis player's journey when they watch Roger Federer on court and feel something almost impossible to explain. It isn't just the elegance, the fluid strokes, or the effortless footwork. It's the calmness, the unshakable composure, the sense that even when he is 2 points away from losing a match, he is somehow untouched by panic. And when you look at that, part of you wonders, how does he stay so calm? And why can't I? Today, we're going to explore the psychology behind Federer's calmness, not as a way to compare ourselves to a legend, but as a way to understand the emotional patterns inside all of us. Because the truth is, Federer's calm is not magic. It's not a personality trait that only a chosen few possess. It's a psychological process, a learned response, a mindset that can reveal something very real about the way you handle pressure, mistakes, expectations, and the stories you tell yourself on and off the court. When Federer first began his career, he was not the calm player the world remembers. He broke rackets. He shouted. He lost control of his emotions. He was talented, brilliant, explosive, but unstable. That's something many people forget. His calmness came later, and it came from understanding something about emotions that we often overlook. Emotions don't disappear by force. They soften when we understand them. Federer learned that the more he tried to suppress frustration, the more it erupted. The more he tried to be calm, the more tense he became. And maybe that sounds familiar to you. That experience where you tell yourself, stop being nervous, and immediately your heart beats faster. Or you tell yourself, don't choke, and suddenly your hands feel stiff. It's not because you're weak. It's because your brain is wired for survival, not performance. And survival mode makes you feel every threat as if it's personal. Federer's transformation began when he stopped treating emotions like enemies and started treating them like information. Nerves meant he cared. Frustration meant he wanted better. Pressure meant he was facing something meaningful. Instead of fighting these feelings, he started interpreting them differently. And that shift turned noise into clarity. You might not be a professional tennis player, but you know this feeling in your own life. Maybe it shows up when you're about to confront someone you love. Maybe it appears before a job interview. Maybe it rises when you try something new and immediately fear being judged. Your body reacts the same way a tennis player reacts at break point. The difference is not the situation. It's the story you attach to the sensation. Federer's calmness comes from not over-attaching to the story. When a point is over, it's over. When a mistake happens, it's information. When pressure rises, it means the moment matters. But it doesn't mean he is failing. It doesn't mean he is not good enough. He doesn't turn a single mistake into a narrative about his identity. And if you think about it, this is what most of us do without realizing it. We lose 1 point and immediately tell ourselves, I'm messing up. Someone criticizes us once, and we spiral into, maybe I'm not good enough. A project doesn't go perfectly, and we jump to, this always happens. I'll never get it right. Federer learned to separate the event from the identity, the point from the person, and that separation is what allows calmness to exist. Another part of his calmness comes from the way he manages time psychologically. Most players rush. Even when they're standing still, their thoughts are racing. What if I lose this point? What if I fail? What if everything falls apart? But Federer slows the mind down. Not by force, by presence. He returns to what he can control. His breathing, his grip, his footwork, his intention for the next point. It's not about positive thinking. It's about narrowing focus to the next action instead of expanding fear into the future. And if you think about moments in your life when you lose control emotionally, it often comes from letting your mind jump too far ahead. You think about the consequences, the reactions, the chain effect of everything that could go wrong. Federer's calmness is a reminder that control lives in the present moment, not in the imagined ones. People often ask, how does Federer stay calm under pressure? But the deeper question is, why do we struggle so much under pressure? The answer isn't that we're weak. It's that we carry expectations that feel heavier than the moment itself. We fear disappointing others. We fear disappointing ourselves. We fear confirming the negative stories we already suspect might be true. And when pressure hits, it's not the situation that overwhelms us. It's the weight of our own meaning. Federer's edge is that he holds meaning lightly, not because he doesn't care, but because caring too tightly crushes performance. He learned to care deeply without gripping tightly, to try hard without panicking, to give everything without attaching his identity to the outcome. And that's something you can practice in your own life. Think about a moment when you get emotional. Maybe someone says something that hits a sensitive spot. Maybe you make a mistake that feels embarrassing. Maybe you don't perform the way you expected. When these moments happen, do you breathe or do you react? Do you observe or do you judge yourself? Federer's calmness is built on the discipline of observing first, reacting second. It's built on the understanding that emotional storms pass faster when we don't fight them. That calmness is not the absence of emotion, but the ability to remain centered inside emotion. Federer once said that he tries to stay pleasant on court, even during difficult moments, because tension spreads quickly through your body. And that's true for all of us. When we grip something too tightly, our racket, our expectations, our identity, we lose fluidity. We lose freedom. We lose clarity. Calmness is not a luxury. It's a performance enhancer. And in life, it's a survival skill. But here's the most important part. Federer's calmness is not perfection. It's practice. And you might be practicing calmness, too, without realizing it. Each time you choose not to argue. Each time you pause before reacting. Each time you breathe before speaking. Each time you let something go even though part of you wants to hold on. Calmness is not just a trait. It's a decision repeated hundreds of times. Maybe right now you are listening to this because you want that level of calm. Maybe you struggle with overthinking. Maybe pressure gets to you. Maybe you lose confidence when things go wrong. You are not alone, and nothing is wrong with you. The truth is, you already have the same psychological tools inside you. The difference is practice, awareness, and the stories you tell yourself in difficult moments. If you can change the story, you can change the state. And if you change the state, you can change the result. So if you take anything from Federer's calmness, let it be this. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay present. You don't need to suppress emotion. You just need to understand it. You don't need to eliminate pressure. You just need to interpret it differently. Calmness isn't something you force. It's something you choose, moment by moment, just like a tennis player choosing how to play the next point. And before we close, I want to leave you with a moment of reflection. When was the last time you gave yourself credit for how far you've come? Not how far you still have to go. Not how much better you could be, but how much you've already learned. How many emotional storms you've survived. How many times you've stood back up even when you didn't believe you could. Federer's calmness is inspiring, but your own resilience is just as powerful. You've been practicing calmness in your own life far longer than you realize. You've been surviving, adapting, adjusting, caring, and trying, quietly, without applause. And now, here is your gentle CTA. If this episode made you feel seen or helped you understand yourself a little more, consider sharing your thoughts in the comments. Tell us about a moment when pressure tested you and how you found your way back to calm. Your story might help someone else breathe easier today. And if you want more episodes exploring the psychology behind sports, emotions, and human behavior, follow this channel and stay connected. Your growth matters. Your experiences matter, and your voice might be the reminder someone else needs. To close this episode, I want to leave you with this. Calmness is not about being untouched by life. It's about learning how to return to yourself when life shakes you. Federer found his way through years of struggle, emotion, and self-reflection. And you will find your way, too. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply becoming more aware of who you are, and that awareness is already changing you. Keep breathing. Keep showing up. And remember, your calmness, just like Federer's, is a skill that grows with every moment you choose not to surrender to fear. You are stronger than you think, and you are already on your way.